a midsummer morning last year, I decided to try a trip round Wales that may never be possible again. There still seemed to be enough railway lines which had survived Dr. Beeching's axe 30 years ago to be able to take a look at most of Wales from a train window. Certainly, while British Rail still existed, you could buy one ticket and have the freedom of Wales by rail. By starting at Swansea, you should be able to keep going from line to line and train to train and get back where you started without using the same line twice.
The best ticket then is...
With privatisation of the railways soon upon us, who knows if we'll ever have the lines or trains to do it again. What I never reckoned with on this last train round Wales was another mark of history, the worst storm in living memory which swept away parts of the line.
We're going to film the whole journey, but as it may be an unrepeatable trip, I've decided to ask a proper photographer along to make the historical record. He's David Hurn, who's from Cardiff, and he could fairly be called Wales's leading international photographer.
On a warm, close June morning, the journey began on a one-coach train out of Swansea. It's not an itinerary that many travellers go in for.
The trip I'm planning to make isn't advertised by BR. In fact, one man at the inquiry office said it was an unauthorised return route. So I've got this. It's the Railwayman's Bible, the timetable of every train running in Britain, including the 0654 Swansea to Shrewsbury. To get around Wales, you need a bit of help from England.
I checked if we'd make all the connections, and David Hurn, the photographer, checked his connections too. Even at 7 in the morning, the heat and humidity were oppressive. Out of Swansea, we passed Gowerton and crossed the Lougher into Dyfed.
There's one thing I've got, a little request. It's your book.
How do I?
It's your book.
They're actually very rare now because they sold out.
Coverage of the Hungarian uprising in 1956 gave David Hurn a start at the top, but he always had an eye for the quirky human side of life. His camera has often caught those moments while working in his native Wales. We rattle on to Llanelli.
Oops, sorry. Well, that's an exciting station. I'm not going to get my masterpiece there.
The train first came west from Swansea, but then doubled back at Llanelli and turned up the Central Wales line to Binia and beyond.
Directions, but I think it stays this way now all the way back.
Well, I'm using two cameras, basically because I'm in theory, going to shoot out of the window, and you would think that you could shoot out of the window with any normal film. But, of course, everything is going twice the speed, because the train's going the speed this way and the land's going the speed the other way. And so I need to be able to shoot at, 2,000th per second to get everything still there.
Colour or black and white?
Black and white. So I'm using actually a very, very fast film, extremely fast film to shoot out there. And then in the other camera, I've just got my normal 400 ASA film.
The train soon leaves the industrial south behind and threads through the midsummer green. The people who use it this early in the day, they're going to work or school, or they're just on a day out. They're mainly local journeys. We've come through Llangennech, Pontarddulais, Pontarffynon, Ammanford and Llandybr. We're heading on to Fairfach, Llandeilo, Llangadog, Llanwrda and Llandyfri. There are early birds out before 8 for a full day's walking in the hill country ahead.
join you?
Yes, certainly.
I'll tell you why, because I take it you're travelling for pleasure rather than business. By the look of you. Yeah, you've got the boots.
Yes.
Have you got the boots?
Yes.
Oh, you've all got the boots.
Yeah. Boots look big, but they're essential unless you want to get a gripped ankle. That's the problem.
Where are you going?
Well, we're going to Sugarloaf Halt. Then we're going to have to walk back along the road, unfortunately, because there's no right of way from the halt itself. And we're going to walk then east along here, up towards the Monydepend area, for about 2-3 miles, catch up a right of way here, go back to the road, and then circle round to Llandudno Wells. But you can cover almost the whole of Mid Wales. You could walk, in fact, and as I've done, from Knighton on the Offa's Dyke, straight through and back to Llandudno Wells. Catch the train there.
You'd have to bring a bit of kit with you on the long walk, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes.
Is it easy to get on the train?
Camp. Oh, yes. Well, not too easy. Like they're clamped down on the amount of rucksacks you can carry and on the amount of bicycles you can carry. No bicycles on this train, as far as I'm aware at the moment, which, of course, has cut down the usage of the line. There's a lot of cyclists who used to use it for cycle tours from the line.
Are you worried, Margaret, about the future of the line, given privatisation?
Very much so. I don't drive, and it's my lifeline because I go to Cardiff regularly to the hospital, to the dental hospital, and I haven't a choice there, by the way. So I think I would have to move.
Llandovery is a station where 2 trains can pass and where crews can change over. With just a single line, only 1 train at a time can enter each section. It's all controlled by the use of brass tokens to travel the line. The system has hardly changed since it was introduced in the last century. At Cynhordy, the day is warming up, but the sky is not clearing. The tiny train is still on time. Daylight again for halt, a stop for ramblers that's not shown on the official timetable. If the driver agree, they'll stop for you.
Press the button.
Cheerio. Thanks.
Over time, the crews get to know every twist and turn of the Central Wales line.
Where you'd appreciate the drivers, how expert they are, is if you came up here when they are in fog or snow, bad weather, then people would appreciate what the driver have got to know.
They know the lines like the back of the hand.
Back of the hand, yeah.
And to you as a railwayman, has this line got a special character? To me as a passenger it does, but to you?
Well, the years that I've been coming up here, I've always loved working over the road because it's such a picturesque place, and I think that for most of the drivers, they enjoy the area that they're working on. It's hard if anything happened to this line because everybody loves the line.
You've been coming to all these wells towns. We've been to Llandudno Wells, and St Gamach Wells, and Bill Wells, and now Llandudno Wells. They're all spa towns. Created by the railway, when you think. And were we in France, they would still be chic and fashionable.
Absolutely.
Because if you have a crise de foie, a crisis of the liver, you get a 2-week cure on national health.
Well, I suspect we're going to be met here with sort of croissants and an espresso, a little trolley on the station.
Little dainties.
Yes.
Refresher.
Smoked salmon sandwich would be pleasant.
We'll put it to the test then.
We've had a little problem with stuck points outside Llanudno, and as we enter Llandudno, we're behind schedule. 8 minutes late.
press something, don't we, to get out.
There we are.
Here we go. Excuse me. Oh, it isn't the biggest.
Alas, no victuals, no fodder.
Well, I see no dainties.
No, I see no pictures.
Get to work, get to work.
Get to work.
Get to work. Yeah.
On through Penabont to Dolai, where the villagers have turned their tiny halt into a garden. It's the pride of the line, and for the half-dozen or so trains every day, some of which might not even stop, the people of Dolai keep it spruce and tidy.
Does it take a lot of work?
Oh, yeah, it's very time consuming.
Yeah.
So, we enjoy it.
Yeah. I see you've got the slug pellets down.
The line winds up to more than 1,000 feet over the Radnor Forest. There's little chance to catch up on lost time until you're over the hump. Then it's down from Llanbista and Llangunllo to Nuckless and Knighton. Nuckless, noted for its magnificent viaduct. In this remote corner of Powys, there's not a breath of air. In the viewfinder, the horizons are just blurs of mist. At Knighton, close by the English border, another change of crews as 2 trains pass in the station. It's been nearly 3 hours since we left Swansea. We've crossed central Wales and we gather speed as we run through the low hills of Shropshire, heading for the first change of trains after joining the main line at Craven Arms. Best to check if we'll be in time to catch the next train on the round Wales trip. After Knighton, the stations are distinctly English: Bucknell and Broome, Craven Arms and Church Stretton. One of the biggest signal boxes in Britain controls the traffic over the railway's Severn Bridge at Shrewsbury. It's a real railway town, still with 5 lines meeting, and essential to rail travel through Wales. Nice to know he's keeping the lines tight for us as the Swansea train pulls in just after 11 o'clock. It's at places such as Shrewsbury that you realise what a wealth of architecture the railway still holds. We're on time to make the connection. In fact, we'll even have time for a cuppa. In this weather, one is sweating. And there's time to take pictures. If we'd known it, there'd have been time for an early lunch. The next train is late. Well, they obviously had a problem this morning in Birmingham, where this one's come from. It's an ancient diesel, a real museum piece that they pulled out for the Chester service. 30 years old and well worn, it's the kind of train British Rail usually boasts that it no longer uses, except for us. Well, at last, we're on our way.
Well, I make it that we left 14 minutes late from Shrewsbury. But it's okay, because in Wrexham, where we're headed next, we should have a longish break. It just means we have a shorter lunch. We've got this rattly old train. Are you any happier with this rattly old train? It says, do not lean out. A bit.
Just a little bit. Just look round the corner sort of thing.
It's better for taking pictures.
Much better for taking pictures.
But can this old diesel go? It's virtually dead straight from Shrewsbury up to Gabowen, and the old bone shaker does it flat out. Here we're on the doorstep of North Wales, and we'll soon cross the border at Chirk. real divide is the valley of the River Dee at the mouth of the Vale of Llangollen, crossed at Newbridge, south of Rhuaben. This was the new bridge. It's now afternoon and the day is hot and heavy. The mist has robbed David Hurn of yet another classic landscape from a train. But at least we've got to the place where, in the absence of a buffet, we've ordered some food to be delivered.
This is a handsome picnic.
What's in it?
I have no idea. I simply said to the man, do not stint yourself. There might even be smoked salmon.
Yes.
Another handsome station, built for hundreds, now almost eerily deserted. Maybe they're all using Wrexham's other station, Central.
This is very school treat, isn't it?
Wonderful.
Yeah. I've had 4 different kinds of sandwiches.
It's like a ghost train on an abandoned line, but this is the 1345 Wrexham to Liverpool via Bidston Wirral. And if we ask, it should let us board.
I will take the back door. Thank you, sir.
We're now taking a shortcut across Clwyd, from Wrexham to Gwersyll, Cefn-y-Bedd, Cargwle and Hope, and down through Pennyforth, Buckley and Harden to Shotton on Deeside. And at Pennyforth, I'm joined by a young signalman, Andy Capstick, who works on the railway. There are people there, although it all looks so abandoned.
Well, there's 2 signalmen, there's no stations left.
The stations are manned. You're in the bottom.
All the stations on this line are unmanned apart from Sean and Wrexham and Bidston, obviously. They request halts now, you have to signal the train to stop. It works very well at the moment.
You finished your shift?
Yes, I've just finished 2 o'clock shift, yes.
Dead on time. You're on the train.
That's the way the railway works most of the time.
Down a shimmering line into Shotton, disturbing the wildlife. One television crew gets off the train, filmed by our second unit, who are chasing us all the time by road. Well, at least they're still with us. Shotton is not the most picturesque spot in Wales. But it has got 2 stations. Shotton High Level leads to Shotton Low Level, down to the main North Wales line, which has come from London Euston and is heading for Holyhead and the Dublin Ferry.
Very good. But where's your next train then?
Meanwhile, on the High Line, our last train shuttles off on its way to the Mersey crossing at Birkenhead.
Where are we now?
Shotton left. 1440.
1440. No, it's Shotton's 1434. Yeah.
Look on the right line.
And it's 1424. Oh, we've got 10 minutes to wait. Anyway, if you want to go and chase your train back to Pennyforth, and I'll spend my 10 minutes here profitably sort of admiring the view of Shotton.
Obviously, it's not only us who want to leave Shotton behind. There are unexpected sights on the Welsh coast on Deeside. There's a ship grounded high and dry up a creek, left here for fun. There's half the deep mines of Wales at Point of Ayr, one of only 2 pits left. The line leads from Shotton and past Flint and on to the caravan coast at Prestatyn and Rhyl, Abergele and Colwyn Bay, and then on via Llandudno Junction and Ganwy to Llandudno itself. The sheer length of Rhyl station platform tells how the railway created the holiday industry here. I remember it lined with families from the north of England.
How's your photography getting on? Have you overcome the problem of windows and...
No, I mean, it was frustrating for an hour when we started. It's now just become funny. I mean, I keep trying to take some pictures that I feel could only be taken from a train, you know. And you end up saying, well, it would actually be better if I was walking along the embankment or something.
Any gems so far?
One never knows.
The excitement of the darkness.
Yeah, the excitement of the darkness. You know, I mean, I work on the principle that I get a picture I like about every 50 rolls of film.
The hard part, the long journeys behind us. Now there are frequent changes.
Yeah,
different
but
pace.
The essence of still photography is in fact being still.
Above us, the stillness is ceasing. This hot, clammy day is soon to change. From Llandudno, our next line is down the Conwy Valley to Blaenau Ffestiniog. We've 2 hours to wait, but we did find a train running. Well, a sort of train. It's the tramway to the top of the Great Orme, which we thought might give us a chance of pictures above the mist.
I've decided to make this journey because I think you're a railway. Am I right?
No, you're not, strictly speaking, I'm afraid.
No, I'm not getting off now.
We were called Great Orme Railway between 1932 and 1975, but technically we are a street tramway.
A street tramway? Oh.
Well.
I think you're nitpicking there. It's rails to me.
Well, this is true, but we're also travelling along a public street at the moment that you can drive down. Railways don't normally do that, do they?
I accept that point, you've got me there. Now, we're very glad about the rain, because we've been dogged by mist, and we want a good storm. At the top, will we have thunder and lightning and tempest?
Have you said the right spells when you got up this morning?
Have you said the right spell when
Oh,
you got up this morning?
well.
We'll see.
We will see when we get there, yes.
Already on our planned route ahead, it was chucking it down, and we didn't have long to wait on the Great Orme. The tram climbed up into the heart of the worst thunderstorm in living memory at Llandudno.
I can't believe it. Look at the rain. All day we've been praying for rain to clear the air so we have a view. I'm caught between tramway cars. Look at me. My trousers are soaked.
It's funny how at first, when riding into disaster, everybody laughs. We had no idea how bad it was going to get. All the way up the Conwy Valley, the flood torrents were gathering. But Llandudno was the eye of the storm, with 5 inches of rain in 2 hours. Day turned into night. This is 5 o'clock on a June afternoon. Passengers became refugees. Could British Rail get us out?
Well, at the moment, it doesn't look too good. As you can see, the weather is absolutely abysmal. I've just been informed that the train that we're supposed to be getting on is stuck between here and Llanudno. So we'll just have to wait for a few minutes and see if this storm will ease off, and so we can get the train and get back to Llandudno Junction and on our journey. We'll get you to Blaenau just in here tonight, no worries.
By now, there was no easy way out of Llandudno. It was no longer a laughing matter. We were trapped.
Take everybody at least as far as the junction. Passengers down the Conwy Valley for Blaenau and Bettycoed. The bus may take you all the way, because sections of that track are flooded as well. We'll let you know at the junction exactly what's going to happen. Okay?
The bus driver tried to get through. It took an hour and a half to get 4 miles to Llandudno Junction. But within a few hundred yards of the next station, there was no way forward. Our trip round Wales was well and truly stuck.